You get up in the swan car and swing your flashlight around carefully, the skin prickling on the back of your neck as you listen to the static. It's a good thing you didn't try to get out of the cart immediately. The fleshy walls and ceiling have vanished. You seem to be in some kind of dark chasm. The track rises out of the darkness with a black pit on either side. On your left, a little distance away, there seems to be some kind of cliff where puppets hang in the darkness. One of them seems especially unsettling, wearing some bizarre helmet. You check to make sure that the limp Evelyn doll is still with you. Perhaps thankfully it is, though you're not certain whether you're attached to it or just very, very distrustful. You climb down the swan and onto the narrow track, careful not to fall. It would be a long way down. It seems that there's a rickety old rope bridge leading over to the cliff with the puppets. You have no idea if you'll be able to cross it or not. The puppets hang limply on the strings, watching you. You get the eerie sense that they are waiting. You nervously shuffle over the tracks to the bridge and stubbornly fix your eyes on the far side of it. You feel your way across it inch by inch, testing to make certain that it holds your weight. It creaks and groans under you. You can feel it straining, but you don't dare look down. Better not to see a fall coming. Inch by inch you get closer, the static blaring from your radio, your flashlight bobbing. You get closer to the bizarre tableau. After what seems like an hour of carefully picking your way over the crumbling timbers, you make it to the relative stable ground on the cliff, facing the puppets in the gloom. The one in the helmet commands your attention. You feel as though you can't take your eyes off it. Him. No, clearly him. His puppet body is strangely muscular, appealing even. You can't shake a sense of familiarity, mixed in with your creeping sense of dread. You have the terrible feeling that could come alive at any moment, strangle you. The sound of your radio blaring doesn't do anything to ease that fear, but for now he's strangely still. Your eyes linger on his helmet. Wonder what is beneath it. It could be any face, or no face. A handsome face? A familiar face. Your prying eyes catch sight of something metal sticking out from beneath the helm. You swallow and steel your determination, pressing your gun beneath the puppet's chest. You feel tense and lightheaded as you slowly reach up to grab the object, afraid that any sudden motion will somehow bring them to monstrous life. The fingers of your free hand brush against the cool, lacquered wood of his chiseled stomach. You reach up, carefully, carefully. It remains still, as your fingers touch the silver thing sticking out beneath the helm. Metal. Your fingers twitch just slightly, and some impulse takes you for a moment. Hands trembling in the darkness, you reach further up until your fingers brush the corrugated metal of the puppet's helmet. It's warm. Your touch lingers for a moment. The moment passes. With a start like a spark through your body, your fingers recoil. What were you doing? This thing could come to life at any moment. Who knows what he's capable of? You grab the handle under your helmet quickly this time and pull. The object comes free. Bolt cutters. You know, this will work. You'll just have to make your way back to the door of the water park and cut the door open. Heck, even if you can't, a pair of bolt cutters is bound to come in handy. In fact, they could easily cut the strings here. You wonder what the puppet wants. But that's a silly thought. Puppets don't have intentions. This one seems to be just a toy, no matter how intimidating or how muscular he appears to be. Though you wonder, is he just a puppet? Is he really waiting to come alive? Would he come alive if you cut his strings? What would he do if he did? Maybe he could even help you. He looks like one hell of a bodyguard. As you shake off this foolish, possibly suicidal thought, you realize with a start that your radio is blaring even louder than before. You swing around, wide-eyed, and come face to blank with the Evoquin. It followed you. Smothering a panicked outcry, you hesitate, nerves trembling in the dark as you start to lower your hands. Why did it wait until now to come after you? Is it attacking? Just as your defenses lower, the question is answered. The Evoquin reaches out its arms, its fingers move right for your throat. You wanted to give it a chance. You really did. But there's no way you're going to wait to find out this is going to be a friendly choking. You react on instinct and kick out hard at the mannequin's groin. Its light body is thrown away by your force, and you watch it sail out over the pit. Your heart thumping hard in your chest still, you pull out your smokes and light up. Fuck, that gave you a scare. At least it wasn't as hard to get rid of as some of the shit you've faced today. You look off the cliff and give the Evaquin the finger, just to say goodbye, and check to make sure it isn't hanging onto the cliff a la Mufasa. But the coast is clear, and it's quiet again. Very quiet. Your footsteps echo through the cavern. The floor is apparently made of moist stone. Distantly, you hear drops of water. You brush past the puppets hanging behind him. These two seem to be female, roughly. They lack hair or much expression, but they seem sad to you. You step just beyond them to size up the chamber. It seems to go on a little way. There's something silvery, shimmering on the ground. You carefully bend down and pick up the shiny thing from the floor. It's some kind of metal ring with a beaded chain attached. The chain seems very long, and it vanishes away into the darkness along the floor. You grab the chain and pull out as much slack as you can. It takes a few feet of slack before it pulls tight, and you give it a good yank. Distantly, you hear a pop and some kind of bubbling sound. Water? Whatever's making that sucking, draining sound, you don't like it. You drop the chain and ring, letting them fall to the ground, still leading away into the darkness. If you ever want to follow where it leads, hopefully it will still be there. You hoof it back over the puppet, bolt cutters in hand. Should you really cut him free? You hesitate one last time. A protector? A monster? A waste of time? Everything falls silent between you. With a bare moment's hesitation, you reach up and snip all the strings binding the doll off. The bolt cutters sever them easily, one by one. As you cut the last one, he seems to loom there before you. You hold your breath. A split second later, the doll comes crashing down into a pathetic heap. You feel the expectation in your chest collapse too. Somehow, this has to be the second most disappointing moment in your entire life. You stare down at the lifeless doll on the floor, and despite the feeling gnawing in the pit of your stomach, you can't quite bear to leave him there. You bend down and pick up his surprisingly light wooden body. Seems like even the helmet is just made out of flimsy wood. You lug his clattering body across the bridge, his arms swinging. You manage to jam his large, awkward body into the swan with you. You scoot in next to your new seatmate and close the door, starting up the ride again. You feel the cool rush of air on your face as the swan picks up speed and casts nervous glances around and at your unlikely partner. He stays, however, silent and still, aside from his helmet bobbing up with every little bump in the ride. As you rush forward, you see a gate ringed by flowers that you rush towards. A puppet descends in front of it. A bride. There's another set of strings beside it, but they're cut.